Our foundation is solid, built on well-laid ground. But solid ground doesn't come from nothing. It comes from men and women who paid a price most of us could never imagine. Look at this. Harvard, 1636. 16 years after the Mayflower touched Plymouth, that's all they needed to turn survival into a university. Because they knew, without knowledge passed down, everything they built would die with them. But this tree you see growing here, it was planted in soil watered with blood, with tears, with the suffering of those who dared to think for themselves. Formed in martyrdom. Women burned alive for refusing to bow. And in the flames, they sang. The fire couldn't touch what was inside them. Those who escaped lost everything. Homes, lands, confiscated. When they tried to flee, captured, chained, paraded like criminals. And in cold cells, men wrote by candlelight, because ideas cannot be imprisoned. Henry Barrow, John Greenwood, hanged at dawn before crowds could gather. And still, there was always one who stayed, one who preached, in fields, in barns, in secret. This legacy was written in our spirit with letters of fire.
And tribulation in this fallen world, the Lord our God remains our steadfast rock and our salvation.
In the beginning, before the great cities, before the skyscrapers, before the highways, there was the river. Wooden boats, simple houses where families lived, worked, and dreamed of something greater. When our first fathers arrived in New England in the early 1600s, this was the world they built with their own hands. Dirt roads, children running, a simple life, and free. Free as they had never been in England. They brought few things: seeds, weapons, tools, a barrel of salt, and a book. And what a book! The Geneva Bible. This Bible was born in exile. 800 Protestants fleeing Mary's fires reached Geneva with nothing. And there, led by William Whittingham, an Oxford scholar, they created something the world had never seen. A portable Bible with marginal notes, maps, references. A Bible any common man could read, understand, and teach his children. The desire to teach was born from the trauma of being forbidden to think. And it was this Bible that crossed the Atlantic aboard the Mayflower in 1620. When our first fathers touched New England's shore, they carried the instrument that would found not just churches, but schools, universities, and an entire nation built on one idea. Every man has the right to think, learn, and worship according to his conscience. They brought little: a barrel of salt, seeds, tools, a plough, enough to survive and begin. Because men who survived Mary's fires, James's prisons, the storms of the North Sea, these men didn't need much to build. They only needed freedom. And here, finally, they had it. And behind everything, the university, the schools, the laws, the nation, stands this book, the Geneva Bible, the furnace that forged the spirit of our first fathers. Struggles leave scars. Our first fathers had many. And from those scars, everything we are was born.